Okay, good evening and welcome to the Rural Mentors Initiative. We are part of Course 25 of the Australian Rural Leadership Program, and we're really excited to be here tonight talking about the mentor and mentee training. So welcome back everyone from the Kimbleys. We're really excited for you. We had a great time. It's definitely life-changing and it's so great that you're now part of our team. As part of Course 25, we identified that there was a need from a rural mentoring program. So that's what our initiative is. It's called the Rural Mentors Initiative. Our vision and values are exactly the same. So our vision is to connect. So we want to connect rural, regional and remote Australia. We want to mentor. We want to develop you and we want to inspire you. We also want to develop and inspire ourselves at the same time. So our plan tonight is to cover what the Rural Mentoring Initiative is. Firstly, we'll talk about, what is mentoring? We'll then talk about, what is a mentee and a mentor? We'll talk about what a mentoring conversation is, the mentoring agreement, and finally, we'll go on and talk about frequently asked questions. So the Rural Mentors Initiative is going to really have two stages. So you're part of stage one. So we're piloting this with you with Course 26. We've had an overwhelming uptake of mentees wanting mentors, which is just fantastic. And we've been able to match you accordingly. So we're excited about that. So the first part of your program is a 3-month program. So it'll start now that you're back from the Kimbleys, and it will finish just before our graduation in October. So we see stage one being a 3-month program. We'll then evaluate the program. We'll then use any of our learnings. We'll potentially tweak it a little bit. And then our plan is for stage 2 will be an annual mentoring program where we'll go out and ask for mentees, who's interested in the mentee. And then we'll use the matching process to match you with an appropriate mentor. At the same time, there's also the opportunity for ad hoc mentoring. So if somebody wants a specific skill set, we'll be able to contact people who are wanting to be mentors at different stages and at any time. We'll continue to update our website, which is ruralmentors.com.au, and we'll also continue to update our Facebook and have inspirational posts, quotes, and articles and photos of our team. So the first question is mentoring. So really, interesting. So mentor, the word comes from Greek history, in the fact that Cumulus, he actually went off to war, and he said to one of his friends, "Can you please look after my son? Can you please mentor him? Can you please make sure that he's okay? Can you please look after him, be his counselor, be his teacher, be his trusted friend?" And that's exactly what this mentoring program is. That's what mentoring is. It's about challenging, motivating, and inspiring. Now, interestingly, the role of the mentor, we believe that there's 6 aspects of the mentoring role for the mentor. So the first thing is that the mentor will manage the relationship. The mentor will encourage the mentee to think differently, to try different things, to do things differently. They'll also nurture the relationship. We know that as part of this, the mentee will need to be vulnerable and open to new ways of doing things, and the mentor will be nurturing as part of this. The mentor will teach the mentee. Both parties will offer mutual respect, and the mentor will respond to the mentee's needs. Now, I just might open it up to everyone else who's online. What else would you like to comment about the mentor?
So I think one of the challenges of being a mentor is to support the mentee, to help them extend their own thinking rather than doing the thinking for them, and to support them to come up with their own ideas and their own initiatives instead of imposing your own thoughts and initiatives onto them.
Great point, thank you. The mentee, what we need from you, we need you to commit to the relationship. We need you to have an eagerness to learn. We need you to identify areas for mentoring. And one of the first areas that we'll ask you to reflect upon is the feedback that you're given in the Kimbleys. And could any of those areas that were identified there be an opportunity for you to be mentored on? We need you to have a willingness to work together. Now, sometimes you won't click with your mentor, and that's okay, because in life there's people that we don't click with, and this mentoring relationship might be the great opportunity to learn about different people and different styles. We need you to be patient and humble. We need you to share your vulnerabilities. By sharing your vulnerabilities, we'll be able to work with you and hopefully give you some strategies to improve upon those. We need you to be willing to think differently and take risks. And we need you to have a positive attitude. We believe that every glass is half full and half empty. We need you to see the half full in this opportunity. What else would you like to comment?
So I guess the value that someone gets out of the mentoring relationship really depends more than anything else on the mentee, on how much they're prepared to share, how much of their vulnerabilities they're prepared to share, how much they're prepared to experiment, to try different things or consider different ways of thinking, and how open they are to suggestions in terms of how they might approach some of their challenges and vulnerabilities differently. So the challenge with the mentee is that the more you share and the more open you are, the more you can get out of the relationship. But it's a relationship with someone that you may not have previously known, or with someone that might be quite diverse, quite different than the group of people you normally associate with. And there's power in that in terms of different diversity of thinking and therefore diversity of solutions that might come out of the relationship. But it's, there's a challenge in being open to that.
Great points, thank you. So the mentoring conversation, there's 3 foundational elements of the mentoring conversation. The first one is trust, then there's commitment, and then there's openness. So when the mentor and mentee have trust, they trust each other, they trust the process, and they're committed to each other in the process, what that then can create is a relationship. So you can have a mentoring relationship. When you have trust and openness, so open to new ideas, open to new thinking, open to new ways of doing things, you can then have a conversation. So once you've got trust and openness. When you have openness and commitment, what that can create is new thinking. And so having a relationship and conversation with new thinking, what that then gives you is choice. And so as part of these mentoring conversations, the outcome of these conversations will be you having the choice to think differently, to do things differently, to implement things differently, and to change the outcome of how you've been doing a variety of things. So 10 tips about these conversations. The first one is we're going to try to adjust to the mentee style. Some of us are thinkers, some of us are feelers, and we'll really try and adjust to what your preference is so that we can use a language and connect with you. We're going to identify the need and set up the discussion. We're going to make the conversation private, unhurried, and focused. Now, we are all busy being busy, but this is going to be a conversation about the mentee, and we're going to be totally focused on that. We're going to encourage you to talk. We're going to try and use open-ended questions. We're going to use who, what, when, where, why. We will respond empathetic, and we will restate what we think you've said. And what that will show is that what you think you're saying may be different to what the other party's hearing. So it's how do we have a conversation about that? We won't direct or solve your issues, and we won't impose our views on you. However, we will give you different ways of thinking about things. We're imperfect, we make mistakes, we are going to admit our own challenges and difficulties in similar circumstances. We'll establish the facts and options. We'll work through all of the different options with you, but it will be your choice. Your choice as the mentee to make the right choice for you with how you think is the best way forward at this time. And then we'll support what choice you've made and put an action plan in place to track the progress. The mentoring agreement is a really important document. You'll do this in your first mentoring session. So it talks about the different areas that you'd like to focus on for mentoring. And I must say a huge thank you to everyone, because most of you have thought about this and have identified what those areas are. You'll talk about what your expectations are. You'll talk about the purpose of you joining the mentoring relationship. we are going to all agree to commit to those 4 things at the bottom left there, where it says we are both voluntarily entering into this partnership. We wish it to be a rewarding experience for both of us. We agree to keep the content of these meetings confidential, and the mentor agrees to be honest and provide constructive feedback to the mentee, and the mentee agrees to be open to the feedback. We want to also define what the roles are of the mentor and mentee, and we want to then commit to this relationship in writing. At the end of each session, you're going to come up with an action plan. So this is an action plan for you to work on and then follow up at your next mentoring session. So an example is, so your action plan might be, you might have come back from the Kimberleys, and one of the things that you might have been encouraged to do was to slow down, to speed up. And so if that's the issue, what action are you going to take as a result of that? What are you going to do differently? In what time frame are you going to do it differently? And what's your reflection on now that you're doing things differently? One of the things that we do know is that research says that we've got 24 hours in which to put a new skill into practice. So we really do encourage you, whatever you learn with your mentor on that day, to put it into practice within 24 hours so that you do you do use it, not lose it. Any other thoughts or comments on that?
So I think one of the other things to do really early on in that first meeting is to commit to future meetings. So to work out how often you're going to meet, how you're going to meet, think about, the program includes rural leaders from across Australia. Some of the mentees and mentors will be from different locations. Are you going to use, technology like Zoom or Skype or FaceTime? You're just going to catch up by phone. You're going to catch up face to face for coffee if you happen to work in the same city or visit the same city for work at times, and just commit to a time and a location and blocking out the time for the mentoring relationship, the meetings. Otherwise, you really struggle to make them happen. And I think that other observation really is that the more you can clarify the purpose of the relationship, the more that both the mentee and the mentor will get out of it.
Great points, thank you. A couple of questions that we've been asked. The first one is, who should organise the meetings? We're actually saying that the mentee should organise the meetings. The mentee is asking for the mentor, so we want you to organise the meetings, and our suggestion is organise the meetings at your first meeting. That leads us to the next one. Well, how often should meetings occur? So this is initially a 3-month pilot program. Then the next phase will be a 12-month program. So in the 3-month program, we're encouraging you to do it fortnightly. So have fortnightly meetings that you organise at the first meeting, and we encourage you to do it at the same time on the same day each fortnight. So it might be Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock. And the next question is, well, what happens if you don't click with your mentor? That's okay. It's a 3-month program. And what we encourage you to do is to try and understand why you don't click with them, because there will be people in life that you don't click with. Maybe this is a great opportunity for us all to learn how to get on with the different personalities better. If you still can't click with them, let us know. We do have spare mentors who would also love to work with you. Another question is, do you have to do a video at the end of the program? Unfortunately, yes. We want to know you. We want to know your story. We want to know if this was of benefit for you. We want to capture this. We want to learn from it. And then we want to showcase you and your outcomes at our graduation ceremony in October. The last question is, how much time do you need to commit? So we think that it'll take about an hour a fortnight to do these sessions. However, what you put in is what you get out. So we do believe that will take a little bit more time outside of the mentoring sessions to actually put into practice what you've committed to learning or doing differently during your mentoring sessions. What else would you like to comment?
I think one of the things that I've found helpful in mentoring relationships that I've been involved in, both as a mentor and a mentee in different circumstances at different times of my life, is that really the role of the mentor is to offer suggestions rather than solutions. It's to guide the mentee's thinking, to help to support their thinking rather than to do the thinking or to identify and make choices for them. And so, you know, the relationship actually will become quite a treasured relationship if it's successful. The mentee will get a lot of value out of it in terms of their own development, and the mentor will also find that they learn things from the mentee, and they learn, I guess, how to have a slightly different relationship, different approach to working with someone from the mentoring mentee relationship, because it's more of a coaching conversation than the sort of conversation you might have with a boss in your own workplace.
Great points, thank you. So in summary, we've talked about what the Rural Mentoring Initiative is. We've talked about what mentoring is, what a mentor and mentee is. We've talked about the mentoring or coaching conversation, the agreement, and any frequently asked questions. So we want to say congratulations, and congratulations for being part of this program. We're really excited to work with you. We're really excited to learn from you, to develop with you, and just to see all the different outcomes and what we can achieve as part of this process. So once again, thank you and good night.